I was really hoping I was not going to have to do this, but the January development update is a disappointment. Frag out! Hey everyone, GamerJlee here, and I'm sorry, but I'm disappointed with this development update. I mean, I didn't expect everything to be done within 2 months, but I was expecting more than what we got with this update because honestly, all of that goodwill I gave 343 when this project first started is gone. But I'll get into that a little bit later. For now, how about we talk about the little bit of good to come out of this update before I start ranting about the bad, because there was at least one good thing to come out of this update, and that was the update to Halo Reach's matchmaking. 2 new categories have been added to social matchmaking: Precision Slayer and Auto Slayer. Both are pretty explanatory. Precision Slayer is for players who want DMR starts, while Auto Slayer is for players who want AR starts. And this does not just apply to Halo Reach, it also applies to Halos 3 and 4. We also got a new rotational category, and the first one we got was one of the most requested: Halo CE Anniversary Settings. This category will only be featured from January 29th to February 5th. But I don't think that's what players actually wanted. I have seen a ton of videos by other content creators such as Epos Vox and BBK Dragoon who have criticized the MCC Halo Reach map pool, and I understand why. The Halo CE Anniversary maps are honestly some of the best remakes of these classics, but them being in normal rotations has been not good because they were not built for armor abilities or DMR starts. They were built and created for a Halo CEA playlist. This is why in OG Reach you rarely ever saw these maps or got them in regular matchmaking searches. People love these maps and they are well designed maps, but they just weren't built for DMR starts. And trust me, even when you are playing Precision Slayer, you are still going to get these CE Anniversary maps a ton, even though they supposedly adjusted the map pool. I was so interested to see what the community's opinion was that I threw up this little poll on my Twitter, and even with the small amount of votes that I got, a majority of people did want this as a permanent category, which kind of sucks because if they aren't going to be sticking around and the map pool keeps getting rotated, are we just never going to see these maps ever again? Are they going to just be moved into Auto Slayer? Like, what is the plan for the Halo CE Anniversary maps? I'm not exactly sure, but I hope that even if they balance them out, that they still at least stick around in Auto Slayer. Later on in this post, they talk about their other featured category rotations that will be happening throughout February, starting with Halo CEA on January 29th through the 5th, like we mentioned. Shoddy Sniper starts on February 19th, and Power Slayer starts on February 26th. They also mention a brand new experimental category for Big Team Battle, which is AR starts. This is really interesting, and it'll be here from January 29th to be determined. Next up, we get to talk about the monthly featured events. These are some of the fun things that you get to do every once in a while, where there is a cool objective where you can earn some awesome player banners, and this month is no different because we've got about 4 of them. Starting off this month, we have the Black History Month event, February 1st through the 29th. So anytime during the month of February, players can earn the Black History Month nameplate by launching MCC during the month of February. This nameplate will be granted once per week and will not unlock immediately. Just a small little nitpick, and this isn't a criticism, this isn't bad or anything, but honestly, this is something that I noticed. Now, over on Steam, they are currently putting up this big notification that, hey, we are celebrating Valentine's Day, Black History Month, and so on and so forth. And the character they have on the Black History Month banner is Emil. Now, I know they're currently in the middle of marketing Reach and trying to sell Reach, but honestly, the character who I think of whenever I think of a African-American character, someone who honestly is iconic with Halo and is memorable and has been a big part of the community and the culture of Halo, is Sergeant Johnson, one of the most iconic, memorable, and most respected characters in the entire Halo franchise. This is just a small little nitpick, but honestly, if you want to celebrate Black History Month with a iconic, respected character that is African American, then you're gonna want to pick Sergeant Johnson. Nothing wrong with Emil. Love the dude, love the character, but honestly, I think it would have been really cool to see Sergeant Johnson with how much the community has respect for that character. The next one we have is the Winter Contingency Event, February 5th through the 18th. Players can earn these two nameplates between February 5th and February 18th by completing matches within the Winter Contingency featured category. These nameplates will be granted once per week and will not unlock immediately. And finally, we have the Valentines Event, February 12th through the 18th. Players can earn the Put a Ring on nameplate during Valentine's week by completing 10 matches in any 2v2 playlist, ranked or social, or in firefight doubles, which will go live February 12th. This nameplate will be granted once per week, yada yada yada, we know already. The progression system is getting some minimal tweaks this month, and no, sadly, we are not getting an XP cap increase. Hold it right there. Hold on, everyone. GamerJlee here in the future, and there's some more news on this, and this is extremely frustrating. I don't know why they didn't put this in the original post, but a post a very couple days later, I believe it was. But as of January 31st at 4:15 p.m., they have increased the current XP rank by 50%. Now, a lot of people are probably confused by this because on the post it says 150, right? Well, that's what a lot of people thought. Oh, we're increasing it by 150%. Well, that would mean it would be 20,000 per category, right? Well, no, they only increased it to 150%, meaning you're making 12,000 per category, and that will equal up to jack diddly shit. Honestly, 24 to basically 27 grand per match. And honestly, that is better. But at the same time, it would have been nice if we just got this big, nice 150% bonus that would still be fucking good. If we could get, 41 to 42,000 XP per game, holy shit, people would be done with it and just not care or worry about boosting. I mean, it would solve a lot of problems, even if it was a small amount of time, but they increased it by 50%. Honestly, I think you should just increase it to true double XP, and that way people won't bitch and we can just get this all done. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. The last bit of good news we got is actually a little bit of info on how progress is coming along for the other Halo titles coming to PC. And that is great. Good to see they are making good progress, and hopefully we will be playing these games soon. But I'm not focused on the future right now. I'm focused on the here and now. And I think it's time we get into the bad, because I've got a lot to talk about, and I know that I'm going to get a lot of criticism on this, but so this part of the video is going to be a little off script because I feel like I need to get this part across as clear as possible. I don't care if you're a modern player, a classic player, or if you enjoy both. I care about the Halo community. My number one objective every time I make a Halo video is to do what is best for the players and speak my mind as a player. Not what's best for Microsoft, not what's best for 343 Industries, and sure as hell not what's best for the goddamn shareholders, but give my honest opinion as a player of the game. Now, is my opinion the right opinion? No. Opinions are subjective, but I think people can see that I don't speak for the whole community. No one does, but I have a passion for this community. And what I see right now from 343 Industries is them dwindling a key opportunity. Now, back in December, I wanted to give 343 some room to breathe and give them good, reliable feedback on Halo Reach. Was the game enjoyable and playable? Yeah, but there was a lot of issues, some big and some small. When it came to the tail end of December, I was starting to get a little antsy as we had not heard anything since the launch. But then at the end of the month, we got the December development update, and it was looking extremely exciting. It looked like they had listened to us and that they were taking notes on every problem that we had mentioned. We're we were being heard. So I gave it a little more goodwill and waited patiently to start seeing updates. Now, I did not expect the massive issues to be fixed right away, but what I expected was more of the simple tasks to be banged out at least somewhat quickly. And it was starting to get more and more worrisome as they had gone back from break, but we were still not hearing anything about real updates coming to the game. All we heard about were future flights and the progression being made on these other Halo titles coming to PC, which is not a bad thing, but from what it was looking like, we were still a ways off from these actually coming out, as we hadn't even had a flight for Halo CE. Then we get to January 28th, where I make this post. I am really starting to worry about the future of Halo Reach. It has been almost 2 months since its launch and we have gotten nothing. No map pool updates, Forge, Theater, or anything. And now all we're hearing out of 343 is Halo CE. How about we finish this game first? Now at the time, I had no clue that we were expecting a dev update, but the community informed me and I said, okay, fine, I'll be patient and I will wait. Then the very next day, we get the dev update. I click the link, read the patch notes, and I was filled with pure disappointment. There was no substance to these. All there is bug fixes, simple bug fixes. No key features that were on those lists that needed to be done were done. And I understand that there was a big problem with Halo Wars 2 this past month. I understand that supposedly it was all hands on deck, but here's the thing. A lot of developers have problems like this. Rainbow Six Siege has a lot of problems. Fortnite has a lot of problems, but they get out weekly, maybe every other week, they get out a brand new patch. What's going on whenever it comes to Halo Reach? Why can't we get these simple things like remapping of the voice chat and text chat? Why can't we get these done? Why can't we get double bindings done? It's honestly ridiculous. I've got guys on my Discord server that are going to high school and college for game design, coding, and so on and so forth, and they've dealt with things like this, and they're saying that it's not that fucking hard. And then as I'm going through the article and I'm getting more and more pissed off, I see this: additional features coming to a flight near you. And the first thing that catches my eye is remap text chat and toggle push to talk with a remappable key. And this just baffles me. We need a flight to be able to remap 2 keys. We have to do a whole flight over that and crouch move behavior. I understand crouch move behavior because that's something that wasn't in the original Reach that they're gonna have to test for, but remapping 2 keys whenever you have every single function on the keyboard remappable, these are the 2 things you can't remap. And you have to run an entire flight just to do it. Are you kidding me? These are things that get patched within a week to 2 weeks at other developers. This has taken 2 months. I know that Halo Wars 2 has had problems, but Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. This is becoming a joke, and the longer you take with these patches, the worse it's gonna get. And honestly, it's getting annoying because let's just move on to the next thing that's going on. Forge, there's no date, no ETA, nothing. And then as I'm reading through this, I'm getting a little excited. I'm like, okay, Forge looks great. That's awesome. The Forge budget will be increased for Forge World and Tempest. What about all the other maps? What about all the other maps that have pretty good sandboxes? I know they're not insane compared to those 2, but why not increase those? Are all the other ones not going to get an increase? Is that the case? Are none of these other maps going to get an increase? Only Forge World, only Tempest? Are you kidding me? And then we get to the top community reported issues, and it's a repeat. It is a exact repeat of last month. And then you get into the actively in development, in design, and currently backlog, and it's the same shit. It's the same stuff from last month. Nothing has changed. This article, this whole thing is a bunch of repeating because it's a bunch of no answers. It's a bunch of, hey, we're working on it. With no answers. We're making progress with no answers, with no ETA, no date, nothing. This is why I'm frustrated. Because every day I go on Steam charts, every day I go and look at the community, and it's a bunch of people saying, guess what? Nothing's coming to Reach, and we don't know when the next game's coming out. And guess what? we're moving on. And that's the thing you got to realize is that PC gamers are going to move on, and they're going to move on fast, especially if the game doesn't function, and especially if it takes too long to get patched. They're going to move on. You know why PUBG died? Because it took the game fucking over 2 years almost to be able to run stable on modern hardware. But you know what the difference is between PUBG and Halo Reach? PUBG continuously has players because the game is fun, addictive, even with the bugs, even with the glitches, people are still having a good time. Reach is considered one of the worst games in the Halo franchise. Not the worst, but it was the beginning of the end for the Halo franchise, and a lot of people criticized it back then, and a lot of people are criticizing now. And the problem is now, half the game is fucking missing. That's the thing. And we've got to start seeing some changes, and we've got to start seeing some things getting done. This is the last update I'm going to read until there's some actual fucking changes going on. And if it takes too long, guess what? You're going to start seeing people begin to give backlash, because this is getting ridiculous. 2 months in, and I understand there's been problems, and I understand that Halo Wars 2 had problems, but there's got to start being some changes with the game, because you're going to continue to lose players unless you either A, start cranking out those Halo games faster than a motherfucker, or B, you start getting patches to Halo Reach, because the PC community is going to start moving on to other better games that actually get updated. I'm going to make this as simple as possible because I keep redoing this part, because either I go on a giant tangent or I basically screw it up. So let's make this as simple as possible. It is not the community's job to fix your game. It's not the community's job to make your game fun. It is your job and your promise to the consumers you sell to. This is your responsibility, 343, and I really hope you follow through, because if not, this is going to be another black mark on your guys' hands, and I really hope the other games do fine. I hope they come out in a timely manner, but I hope they come out in a full package compared to what Reach is. Reach is missing functions. Reach needs help. Reach needs support and patches for key functions to be viable. It's playable. It's fun. That's fine, but it is nowhere near where it should be. It's fine the way it is, but it could be better. Frag